episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
I hope you understand. He was born a rambling man.
It's me, it's TRG, the Rambling Gambler, just trying to make a living and doing the best I can. It is launch week, everybody. It is launch week. I can't believe it has been a sprint to the finish line, but it is launch week. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Book of Casino Wisdom, our guide to smarter gambling, better comps, and the casino lifestyle is going live on the 19th. In less than a week, you will be able to go on Amazon and order a copy of our book. And to go with that, we are going to do an episode almost every day. We're going to bring you meaningful content. It's not only about the book, it's also about the book. And so we're going to make sure that you get content, that you get what I hope will be meaningful content, and then we're going to tell you a little bit about what is going on with the book launch and what you can do to help. So these episodes are going to be quick. Going to try to get to the point. You know, that's not what I do best. I'm better at long format, as you know, but we're going to try to do short format. So for this episode, for this launch episode, we are going to have a Questions My Sons Ask segment. I got a really, really interesting question and a different question, a question from a different point of view. And so we're going to do Questions My Sons Ask, and then we're going to do a mission segment, and I'm going to tell you about some things you can do to help our book be a success. And then we'll wrap up, and I will see you again tomorrow with more content and more things that you can do to help our book. So, having said that, having given you the battle plan, let's get started with Questions My Sons Ask.
What?
So I got an interesting email the other day in the midst of all the craziness that's going on to get this book finished up. And the email is from someone whose email says, Not Just Ken. And so Not Just Ken says, I found the podcast a couple of months ago and started listening, and I'm really hooked. We have some casinos near me, but I've never really spent any time with them other than maybe to have a beer once in a while with a friend. I understand the idea of a day's pay as an equalizer for the podcast. Great idea, actually. But would you give me a real life, real dollar example of doing like a stop at the horse track? I don't want to know how much a day's pay amount is, just what a real stop like that looks like to you. I could change my route home by 10 minutes and do a stop like that myself. My wife says it's not worth the money I'll get. Okay, spousal confusion is a real thing. It is. It's real. It's valid. If you're listening and you're the spouse on that side of it going, this is nuts, I get it. I completely understand. If I didn't do what I do, if my wife had not seen what we do work from very early in our relationship, if she had not seen a postcard come in the mail 20 years ago and say, here's a free hotel room, and known how much gambling we had done and how it fit in our lives, and I came home and said, honey, I just started listening to this podcast, and this guy on the internet says that I can go on the horse track and get money and gifts. She'd been going, no, no, you're not doing that. You're not listening to somebody on the internet. So I completely get spouses with doubtses. I really do. Yeah, I just made that up as I'm going along here. And I appreciate people not just understanding the idea of a day's pay. And if you're not familiar, a day's pay is different for everybody, right? If you deliver pizza in Des Moines, what you make a day and how that helps you in your life is different than what somebody delivering pizza in New York City makes, and it's certainly different than what an investment banker makes. I was just seeing the other day, and I'm going to get the cities wrong, but like $80,000 a year in a city in Alabama makes you upper middle class, and you can kind of do anything you want. And that same amount of money in New York City, you barely have housing. So days paid numbers are different for everybody, and we're heard worldwide on our Casino Combat podcast. And so there's so many different standards of living. There's so many different amounts, but everybody can relate to, I go out and work for a day and I get X dollars. And that is, as our emailer said, that is a great equalizer. But I also understand the idea of, is it worth it, or is it worth it to me? And this is going to come back. I'm going to do this, by the way, not just Ken. I am going to answer your question. I didn't line this up just to say, no, I'm not going to. Did not do that at all. I think this is interesting. I think this is a valid question. I'm not sure it's going to be as useful as you think it is, but I'm willing to go there, and I'm willing to lay it all out, because once again, the amount of money I'm going to share with you to one person is like, wow, I can do X with that money. And to another person, it's like, cab ride across town. So I'm not convinced. In the interest of being a host that listens to his listeners, I certainly want to do this, and I'm not, I'll confess, exactly sure how valid it's going to be to everybody. But let me run one down for you. 2 weeks ago, the horse track stop I made that I think is relevant. So to set this up for everybody, there is a horse track, which in my state means they have video lottery terminals that look like slot machines. If you compared them to a slot machine in Las Vegas, they would not look any different. However, they pay out just like a lottery payout. So they have to use the same odds, the same household, the same everything that our state lottery uses, which means they actually pay out a little better than a real slot machine at a real casino in the same state. And while it looks the same, what you're doing when you push the button is you are essentially buying an instant lottery ticket and scratching it off in the snap of a finger and getting the payout. And that's how my state managed to make it legal. So they have horse racing that you can watch and wager on. They have machines that you can play that are lottery machines that look like slot machines. They have a nice restaurant. They have a couple bars. It's fine for what it is. I'm mostly a table game guy, as you probably know if you've listened at all. I'd prefer a blackjack table or a craps table than a slot machine, but I literally get off a highway I'm driving down anyway. I turn right at the light. I go 1, 2, 3 lights. I turn right. I stop at a stop sign, and I pull into VIP parking using my Tier 3 card, and I am about 30 yards from the door to the casino. So let me run through what a normal day looks like on a stop like that. Not a very long stop. So let's pretend I just did that. I got off the highway. I stopped at those lights. I stopped at that stop sign. I pulled into VIP parking. I walk in. I go past a few machines. I go to a kiosk. Kiosk is almost always your first casino stop. If you've been at any casino on any type of regular basis, you already have a player's card. You're not going to get a card. You're just going to stop at the kiosk and see what your offers are for the day. I swipe my card, and I get a tile that says I have a gift card in this case. So I hit that, and it prints a slip out of the printer, and I grab that and throw it in my pocket. And then I see another tile that says I have a prize drop. And what that is going to be is a random amount of free slot play money. And I hit that, and a little parachute comes down, and I'm informed that I have $15 of free slot play. And if you're not familiar, there is an ebook available on the website, casinocombat.com, spell it with a K, and a book called Casino Combat Slot Tactic. It's an ebook, it's about 20 pages. It's free. I have a slot tactic for playing free slot play. So I go over to Wonder Woman. I love the Wonder Woman slot machine. One, because it reminds me of my teenage years with Linda Carter as Wonder Woman. But more importantly, or as important, the wagers are nice, even amounts. 50 cents, $1, $1.50, $2.50 and $5, I think. So free slot play works well. You're not dividing $15 by 88 cents or 66 cents or something of that nature. So I pull my free slot play into the machine. These machines are nice because they've been updated and they'll show me the free play amount remaining. I don't have to pull out every single slip as I play it. And I have $15 of free slot play. So what I like to do with $15 of free slot play is I like to do 5 spins at 50 cents, followed by 5 spins at $1, followed by 5 spins at $1.50. And trust me, that adds up to $15 of free slot play. So on this particular day, I went through that whole process, did my spins on each particular amount, and out of that, I won $5.81. Not a big deal, right? Not a big deal at all. Not something that you are going to call your wife and brag about. And I'm sorry, not just Ken. If your wife has doubts, I didn't assuage them there. I didn't do that at all. But $5.81. And so then I go to the short little line, about 5-6 people in line, and I stand in line and I get a $5 grocery store gift card. A grocery store that's right by my house, a grocery store that has a gas station right by my house. $5 is $5. I'm in and out of those stores all the time. Total time on property at this point, 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes at most. And I decide, well, okay, here's kind of my rule of thumb, my personal rule of thumb. If I had won double digits or more of money on my free slot play, if I had won $30, $40, $70, $80, I would have left without doing anything else. You can't do that over and over or all the freebies go away, but I'm in and out of this place a lot. If I'd have won $40 or $50, I'd have just left at that point, but I hadn't. And I also didn't want to put a whole lot of money at risk. So I went and found a Little Shop of Horrors machine. And the great thing about Little Shop of Horrors is even the max wager is just a few dollars. So it's not a big investment. I figure I'm going to put about $40 max at risk in a Little Shop of Horrors machine to see if I can get out with a win using TRG Slot Tactic El Numero Dos, also in the Slot Tactics ebook that you can find on the website. And so I drop my $40 cash, my money, my real money in, and I start spinning, and I make my way up and down the wagers a little bit, playing through the tactic, and I get a bonus that is the Suddenly Seymour bonus, and Rick Morantis and the actors from the movie sing to each other from a balcony, so the song Suddenly Seymour, and you get various spins. And I finished that with $33.12 of profit. Not bad. Not bad at all if you think about it. It really isn't. Now, my thing with this slot tactic is if I finish a spin and I have a win of 10% or more. So I told you I thought I was going to have to put about $40 at risk on this machine to either take a negative exit or a positive exit. I finished that spin with $33.12 in profit. $33 is more than 10% of $40, which would be $4. So I've got my positive exit number. I'm done. I head to the cage. That's the worst part. I spent more time waiting at the cage than probably I'd been in the building the entire time, but still, probably less than 30 minutes, I think, the whole trip. Not much more than 30 minutes if it was more than 30 minutes. $5.81 in profit on the free slot play, $5 cash or the equivalent of cash in a gift card, $33.12 from playing with my own money, a win of $43.93 in roughly 30 minutes. Where I live, that means you got an hourly rate, let's call it $44. That's an hourly rate of $88 an hour. If you rolled that out, we're able to roll that out to an entire hour. Where I live, $88 an hour is a good wage, is a fair wage for an hour's worth of work. So, not just Ken, hope that helps. Hope that's useful. I don't know if that will convince or not convince your wife, but you can at least decide for yourself if it's worth an extra 10 minutes of drive and worth, approximately 30 minutes of your time to start making that horse track stop that you have available to you. And of course, it's not always this way. I could just as easily have lost the $33 as won the $33 on that machine. But that is how this works. We're playing for the long term. We're playing for the big picture. We're playing for the comps and gifts. Someday they'll get you. Some days you'll get them. I've proven that at least over the years I've been doing this and doing this podcast that there is money to be made and there are comps to be won. They may own the math, but we own the transaction. All right, next up, we are going to do the first ever mission control segment.
This Houston, contact with a test 1.
3, 2, 1.
All right, as I said, first ever mission control segment. This is a big week. Certainly the biggest week in the life of this podcast, in the life of our squad. And I want to try to tell you what's going on. The most important thing we can do right now is build what is called behind the scenes on Amazon self-publishing is we can build velocity. And that means show Amazon that even though I'm an unknown author, and even though I'm in a small niche, and even though for all practical purposes there's no reason for anyone to have ever heard of me or my book, we want to show Amazon that people are interested in this book. And the reason we want to do that is very, very simple. If I publish this book as an unknown author, and I buy a copy of the book the day it becomes available, Amazon doesn't care. Amazon expects me to buy my own book. I get no credit for that. No one is interested in our book because of that. Then, a few days later, my mom and dad buy a book. One person. And then a few days after that, Nakatomi Tony buys a book. I sold 3 books in a week, and Amazon says no one's interested, no one cares, why does it matter? And Amazon doesn't start showing the book to other people. When someone looks for a book on card counting, our book doesn't show up beside it as something you might also like. However, if we do the opposite, if a lot of people show interest in me as an author before the book is published, if people put the book on a wish list, if people buy the book on day one, if people do those things, and if we can do enough of that, and enough isn't very much, everybody. If we can sell 100 copies of this book in 24 hours in any format, if we can get 100 people to follow me as an author on Amazon, if we can get 100 people who never buy the book to just add the book to a wish list, Amazon decides people are interested in the book and it shows the book to other people who have never heard of the podcast. And then hopefully, obviously, and transparently, people that have never heard of our podcast buy our book and then listen to our podcast and then join our squad. And we have more friends joining us on cruises and more friends joining us in Atlantic City and more friends contributing what they know about gambling and what they know about gambling where they live. And we all become better players because of it. And that's what we're trying to do. Part A feeds B, B feeds C, C feeds A. And so what we are doing are missions. We've got a bit of a combat militaristic theme here. So we are doing Operation Volcanic Velocity because that velocity is important. And so if you go to casinocombat.com, spell combat with a K, of course. If you go to casinocombat.com and click at the top where it says missions, that was Dr. ECE's idea. We got that done for him today. If you click on missions, it will take you to a page that kind of explains all of what's going on. And there are buttons that will take you to various missions. There are missions like add the ebook to an Amazon list. Notice that I'm not asking you for any money. I'm just asking if you have an Amazon account, click on that link, go to Amazon with the link provided, and click add the ebook to an Amazon list. That's one of our missions for today. One of our missions for today is follow TRG's author page. Once again, low friction, no cost to you. You do not have to spend any money. Just follow me as an author. If we could get 100 follows for me as an author between now and the 19th, Amazon is going to take notice. If we can get 100 people to add the ebook to a wish list, even if none of those books ever get purchased, that will be amazing. That will do so much to tell Amazon people are interested in this book. Also on today's list, much to my surprise, Amazon is not always a reliable partner in my experience. They told me I was not going to be able to have pre-orders till tomorrow, and I can't do pre-orders for the physical book. Once again, I don't know why they don't allow that, but they don't. But I can have pre-orders for the ebook, pre-orders for the Kindle condition. Now, here's what I'm doing. Books below $2.99 don't count for velocity. So from now until next Wednesday, now until a week from today, the Kindle ebook is priced at $2.99. Then it's going to $8.99. But every $2.99 book that someone buys counts as velocity. And so I've set the price as low as they'll let me set it for the first 24 hours in the hopes that we will sell as many books in the first 24 hours as possible, because that will light up Amazon's algorithm. So there is a mission today, available from now until next Tuesday, to pre-order the Kindle edition of the book for $2.99. Let me explain further how all of these missions work. You go to Mission Control, CasinoCombat.com/OVV or CasinoCombat.com, and click on Missions. You pick a mission from the list. You read what you need to do for the mission. I've tried to keep it as simple as possible. I've tried to link everything for you. You do what is described in the mission. You go and you follow the author page, and you do a screen grab either on your computer or on your phone. And then there is a short form that you fill out, all on that same page, all right there for you. Your name or your podcast call sign, your email address, and upload the picture. Upload the screen grab, hit submit mission. I will get an email. Give me 24 to 48 hours to go through the emails. There's already quite a few lining up in my inbox. If you complete one mission, the first mission you complete, I am going to send you two things. I am going to send you a digital ticket, a numbered digital ticket number, and a physical ticket is going to go right here on my desk in the Glorious Casino Combat Studios, and you are going to have an entry in a drawing that we will hold live streaming in some fashion about a week after the book launch, and I am going to give away a whole bunch of different prizes. And the more missions people complete, the more prizes I'm going to give away. But the top prize is going to be the very first copy ever, the author's markup copy of Our Casino Combat Podcast presents the Book of Casino Wisdom, my notes in the margin, 1 of 1. The book changed after that because I applied all the changes that I wrote in the margins. That's going to be the top prize. But we will have shirts, and we will have hats, and we will have Amazon gift cards. We will have all kinds of things. And if there's something else you want as a prize, please tell me. I am also, on your first mission completion, going to send you a PDF of the first wisdom, wisdom number 1. I'm going to send you a free chapter of the book as a thank you for completing your first mission. After that, every mission you complete, you get another entry in the drawing, you get another digital ticket. That's how this is going to work. Also of note, I have tried to set this up so there are missions that can be done by someone who has no intention of ever buying the book. So if you have friends or family, co-workers with an Amazon account already, please ask them to help. Maybe send them a copy of the link. Maybe make it easy for them, but ask them to help. Ask them if they would just do you a favor and follow my author page. Ask them if they would just do you a favor and add the book to a wish list. Not asking them to buy anything. But if we can also, again, leverage family and friends to create velocity, we will create long-term success for our book. And that's what this is all about. That is what Operation Volcanic Velocity is all about. And that's what we're trying to accomplish. So thank you very much, everyone. Gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER if you think you have a problem. Stay tuned to all our communication channels because I will be back tomorrow with more content and more missions. TRG will see you on the floor.